In the UK, there's a bowl for every surface for the Henseley product. But overseas, I use the Tiger 2 and I use the Dreamline XG purely because I love the grip and the arc that the bowl takes, and that's what makes me one of the best players in the world.
The Traralgon Bowls Club. Amazing food for you and your family. Function rooms for celebrating with your friends. Corporate spaces for meetings and conferences. With special benefits for members. Visit us today at the Traralgon Bowls Club. More than just a bowls club.
The Morwell Bowling Club is your place for fun and food. Come and try bowls and make new friends. Have coffee or bring the family for lunch or dinner. The Morwell Bowling Club. Visit us today on Hazelwood Road.
Welcome back, everyone. Round 3 men's singles action. Henselite Victorian Open. It is a cracking match that we have for you. We have Luke Lamont from Lilydale up against Mark Armstrong from Pialba. And Mark, an ex-Victorian from many, many years ago, playing at Sunbury and permitting in for them this season, so might be familiar to our Victorian viewers, and I'm sure will be familiar to our Queensland viewers. I'm Troy Stafford, and I am joined by Harry's dad.
Thank you, Troy.
It's been some great action here today.
Oh, hasn't there what? The last game was an absolute pearler.
Yeah, and the first one was 21-20.
Wow. Let's hope this
So
one is the same.
It's been action aplenty.
Yep. Right, so we've got Mark just on his forehand, got about a foot or so to draw. He's got the advantage of having 2 bowls behind the jack.
Touch on the jack would be nice. It's 3 past.
Oops, I think Luke's holding 1.
He needs to get to that second shot of Mark's or past it. He has nothing past the jack. He can cover and count here if he beats that orange or gets past it.
He's going to run. I just held up a little bit out that side.
Yeah, that's the hand that just hangs a touch.
Yeah, so Mark is only 1 down.
So I think we will see just a confident draw. First end of the game. Won't go too silly, I don't think.
No, only being 1 down. No need to be silly.
2 feet trail, he makes 4. Sit the bowl, he makes 2.
Just might go under. Looking at that, yep.
We might get a friendly here, Mark.
He did too.
He did, and he's fallen in front of the jack. I think Luke Lamont, affectionately known as Buffer, doesn't have a lot on apart from forehand. Beat his own bowl, could get a little ride off the inside of it. Can't afford to play weight with Mark having all the bowls past the jack.
Definitely doesn't want any movement of the jack. Using his bowl, just coming off the inside, could give him the right angle onto jack. Luke is watching it very closely.
Well, it's not a bad effort. Played it with perfect weight there.
Yeah.
Couldn't get into any danger or with that sort of weight.
So start 1 to Mark.
A little fortunate, but it is 1 to Mark. Now, both these players have played a game in the section already, playing against our marker Tim. And Luke won in the opening round 21-13. And Mark won in the second one 21-14. So because we're in a timed situation here, 2 1/4 hours, it is slim possibility that there could be a draw. Whoever wins this game will advance through to the knockout stages. If there's a draw, on the unlikelihood, then Luke LAMONT would go through because he currently has a margin of +8 and Mark has a margin of +7.
Yeah, Mark's nailed the line on his first one. It's a bit quiet in here today, isn't it, Troy? I think everyone's out playing singles.
Yeah, we're 199 rinks we're using today, Mark. So everyone's out bowling. You'll see this time tomorrow, you won't be able to get a seat.
No.
This time tomorrow will be third round of the knockout for the day, and it'll be chock-a-block.
Which it has been nearly every afternoon.
Yeah, certainly on these knockout days, it gets super busy, which is great because it builds the atmosphere. We love it.
Yeah, good correction by Mark there. So that will be the shot. Luke's weight was perfect. Just got to adjust his line a fraction.
Again, both players electing to play this ditch side. Line looks to be
close.
good. How much of it can he gets enough? Makes 2. Again, it puts the 2 bowls of Mark past the jack.
Yeah, nice positive draw.
He drew it with his first, so I'm sure he can do it again. He's not far away here, Mark. Oh, that's
he
better.
has done it. Yep.
Well, just fell. Still gives Luke a look at the jack. He did arrive with his second, so he might play a similar weight and just tighten his line a fraction.
And again, like the first end, he doesn't want a lot of jack movement.
No, this might give him a bowl pass though. Oh, he might nearly give him shot.
Waiting for confirmation from the marker.
Mark is holding. Means it's just a delicate draw now really for Mark, I feel.
And just trying to match Luke's last bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, it's looking good to there, Troy.
Not a bad effort.
His weight
Just
was
touch shy.
good. Yep.
Good attempt.
And a slight correction here from Luke. You can move it an inch or so, he might get 2.
Brendan Wilson cheering on Pop, Mark Armstrong. Don't think that's going to get down at that weight. Should be another 1 to Mark. Wait for confirmation.
Yep, 1 to Mark.
1 it is. 2-0. No need to record ends because, of course, it's a 1st to 21 match. Ends are irrelevant. 2¼ hour time limit. We started at 1:55. So that makes it 10 past 4 would be the cutoff. Majority of these section winners do advance through this afternoon and don't need to play, but there are 16 section winners that do have to play. 4 of those are here. So the positive of that, Mark, is that we will bring you a post-sectional match after this one. So this is not the end of the action for the day.
Good start by Mark.
Very good.
Very good.
Nestling in behind the jack. Nothing for Luke to sit on.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a good track again. Troy. Has he got the weight?
Not quite.
No.
Repeat the dose here for Mark. Oh, just got a flick. He's had a couple of nice little flicks, but I mean, if he missed that, he was probably going to finish a similar distance away, but maybe on the other side of the jack. So no harm, no foul.
No. So Luke will be hoping to should be a bit more positive weight, but I think he's just pull up a bit short again.
It's handy.
Oh, handy. That
Might be second. Is it first?
Nothing from the marker, Troy?
No, nothing. Players not asking. So, of course, the markers we use for this one are not expert markers, so wouldn't be necessarily used to holding up paddles and things like that. So he'd be used to waiting for a question from the players. Well, Mark had all to gain from just reaching, but not quite going to.
No, Luke's staying to the same hand. He's not looking at doing the backhand and flopping his bowl down. He's staying on the forehand.
It's quite disciplined, that, because he knows that it's the kind of hand. He knows what his bowl's going to do. He knows those bowls aren't in the way, and he's got down to the jack here and he's drawn the shot. Well played.
It's a great bowl.
I think we might see a change of hands now, Mark.
I think so. I think you might see him attack a little bit, or make sure he reaches reaching weight.
I think the kindest weight is big.
Yeah, especially on that backhand side.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a draw or drive side that we've noticed this week. The control weighted shots do hang a lot and they won't get down. So Mark is definitely having a good look.
Mind you, we could still play forehand big weight inside of the second closest and onto the closest. He could play either hand here with weight. Looks like he's lining up on the backhand. So swinging elected to play the swing weight. The one that just doesn't look at that, doesn't get down.
Just doesn't get down. Yep.
He might, I think he'll learn a bit from that.
Yeah, definitely will.
And decide. Might be easier to go bigger with if I'm put in the same situation again. It's early on in this game. Repeat the dose.
Yep. And he's thrown it out pretty well.
If he lands
that
bowl, he'd make three. He doesn't want the outside. Oh, stiff. Don't think it's going to affect anything, but inside of that bowl, he would have made the three that he was after. Luke Lamont on the board. Trails 1 shot to 2.
Just say, Luke, bring the mat up a little bit. Change the length a little bit.
I've played a bit of bowls with Luke when I was coaching at Lilydale. My first season there, Luke was my third.
Well, I had the privilege of watching Luke at the region event in Ballarat in January, and he bowled superbly.
Skipped for Eastern
Oh,
Rangers, who
Eastern
won the silver tier.
Yeah, really stood out to me as one of their best bowlers for the
he's
whole weekend. So it's fantastic to watch.
He's got every shot, Mark. He can play every shot in the book. Runner-up in the state pairs last year. Welcome to you again, Warren. Good to have you joining in.
And both of them found their line easily on that ditch side, haven't they, Troy?
Yeah, it's a nice, kind hand. Just got to back yourself, play the right weight. I don't think there's any correction here from Luke.
A perfect line on both, though.
Yeah, on this occasion, it's Luke who's now got the 2 bowls past the jack.
And Mark just needing to make a slight adjustment if he gets just behind the jack, which he's definitely getting behind the jack with this one.
Are you sure?
Not quite. Must have been the breeze in that doorway someone opened. Last bowl just gives something for Luke to sit on. Oh, he's just gone under. Oh, gives himself a big target for his next shot.
And it gives him a bowl in the head.
Yep. I think Mark will be looking just behind Troy. Or tuck it around, maybe.
Yeah, if he can change the head, turn his outside bowl, tuck that away, and if he misses, get past the jack. He might get the outside of this and tidy it up. Yeah, he's done that. Still a target, but it's probably nearly halved it.
Well, you know, Luke, what's he going to do? Troy, you think he'll go ahead?
Well, I like the fact that he's going to have a look. Now, he could go bigger, but the danger is he's only got to be slightly off target, slightly narrow, cuts his bowl out of the head, and he will drop a soft 4. I think he'll play softer weight, you know, maybe 1 to 2 metres of weight.
Yep.
Looking to get the split on the 2 bowls and stay.
And with that weight, he's not going to really push his only bowl in the head too far out.
If he plays good weight and he gets the edge of his bowl, it's actually going to help him. It's going to turn him back on target. If he plays big weight, he'll cut it straight out of the head. Yeah, just playing that arriving weight. He's close.
He's very close.
Wants the outside one first. Onto the second shot and stay on the jack. Well played.
Played it perfectly. And
that first one took all the force out of the bowl. Off onto the second one, which meant there wasn't much left, so the jack wasn't going to go far.
And it was definitely what we spoke about, that metre, 2 metres overweight through it.
Yeah, just reaching, and now it's not a great setup for Mark because Luke has that bowl a metre past the jack. Mark might
I think he might try his backhand.
Looking
use
to
his bowl.
So that'd be his forehand, you mean?
Sorry, forehand, yes, sorry.
That's
we had too many left-handers on here,
yeah,
that's why.
Exactly right. That's what I thought he might attempt to play. That's what he's going for. Don't think that'll get down enough.
Definitely that tricky side to get down with that weight.
It's going to square us up 2-all. Chris Razan's tuning in. Go Poppy. So I don't think that Mark would actually be his Pop. So I'm going to make an assumption here that Pop and Poppy is his nickname.
Yep.
We're not really going to be able to give you a score update on Michael Stevenson's, unfortunately, because they're on an outside green and we can only see the rinks being played in here. So apologies for that.
Yeah, great start here by Luke.
Very good. Jack high though.
Yeah, Mark, not far away.
Oh, he's given this a really good show. He's got a piece of the jack.
Right.
A very, very fine piece. If you were having a piece of cake, you'd want more of it than that.
Yeah, great line again here by Luke.
I like where this is going to finish. Look at that.
Yeah,
Another toucher in the count,
Yep.
behind the jack. And it's in between the jack and Mark's first bowl. I do think that touched. Yeah, here we go.
It did,
Just
yep.
just waiting for the player to play. This is shaping up to be a pretty good end.
Oh, it's needed 1.5 foot.
Change of hands.
Just tuck this around the back or even tuck his bowl around, but I don't think it's going to get there.
Not quite. Michael Stevenson is playing in section 11. Plenty of love for Steve-O, who was able to grind out a win against Nate Zeno in the last.
I'll give him a different shot on his next one, Mark. Putting the Bacchus bowl in. So Luke will be looking on his backhand just to come under his last bowl. Not as much turnout there. Oh, I didn't quite get it. Right in the middle.
Asking if he's got 2/3. Obviously looking to run those two bowls out. Welcome to you, Obi. Shane, there is another round today, but not for many. So in this men's singles, we have a total of, just giving you the 136 sections, Mark. So we've had to add another round in. So it's a round of 256, and 120 of those players get a bye, and 16 of them have to play again, as we see Mark lining up to take the two bowls out or run the jack into the ditch. Got one.
Oh, I got one. Yep.
Cut one clean out. Two of those 8 matches that need to be played are played here, which means we will bring you a 4th streaming match later on this afternoon. It's been 5 ends, 5 ones. 3 to Luke, 2 to Mark.
Couldn't get any tighter.
No, and especially if you look at the section too.
Oh.
They won by 8 and they won by 7, each of them against the marker. So the winner of this will advance. Good to have you tuning in, Ray. Yes, definitely some hustles back in the Lilydale Hurstbridge days. And yeah, it'd be great to see you up at over 60s at Barham. Entries are open for our over 60s and our novice.
Great start by Luke.
He's winning the first bowl challenge at the moment. He's, yeah, the opening bowl.
And we know, Troy, in the game of singles, your first 2 bowls are the most important bowls in singles.
Absolutely.
Put pressure on your opponent straight away.
Yeah.
I think he's played another very good bowl.
Yeah, he's
Tuck it around
not
really
even going to
nicely.
make a target here. Look at that.
Yep.
Perfect. I can give you Mitch a score, assuming they're using the board though, which I'm not convinced they are, because it says 18-0 and we've only been going 28 minutes. So we'll see if that board changes. The board says 18-0, and I know Mark that Mitch won the last end because he's bowled first.
We do know Mitch has been in great form, but might not be that good a form.
Yeah.
He's absolutely loved this indoor green, hasn't he, Mitch?
He sure has. Oh, this is another one. Look at this. Behind the jack. Still no target.
Just gives Mark something to sit on, just to get one in the head. Just want to put pressure on himself with his last bowl if he's 4 down.
Yeah, he really needs to beat that last bowl. Needs to get down. And it is. Yeah, well played. Cuts it down. So the Novice Carnival is in the Shepparton region. You can go on to Bowlslink, or you can go on to Bowls Vic page, go to events, look for Novice Carnival, and there's a link there to be able to enter. Anyone that has been an affiliated bowler any time from the 1st of May 2022 is eligible to play.
Luke just needs to play something similar he has with all 3.
Absolutely. He's not going to, but he's going to finish in a good spot.
Yep.
Splits those 2 back bowls. If we had the respot, it'd be in the perfect spot.
Yep.
But of course, change of rules this year. No respot. Dead ends are to be replayed. We still have the time limit, of course.
Looked like Mark was studying ahead to try and move something around.
I think he's going to go big here. Gets his own bowl out. He's one worse off.
Yep.
He owns the back. no real room to draw it, but of course, no real target either. It's not going big weight.
A bit more controlled weight.
Controlled weight on the
It's
kind
close.
hand.
It's close.
He's got something.
Oh,
Might have done enough.
maybe enough.
So he's elected to play the harder weight, but he's played it on the kinder hand, and he's got it absolutely flush. Jack's bounced off the back bowl.
One out for Luke. Another one.
Another one.
Surprised, Troy.
6 ends, 6 ones at this rate. We're going to have a 41 end match. The marker thinks I didn't sign up for that. No, he's doing a good job for us, Tim from Trafalgar.
Have you been out to Trafalgar, Troy?
Many years ago, not since they put the Blue Lagoon in,
No,
but
Blue
I played
Lagoon.
a tournament there about 20 or so years ago. 2 years in a row, bridesmaids. 2 years, runners-up both times. Used to have a big 2-day, 2-bowl triples tournament.
Yep, no, I was lucky enough to play out there in the men's pairs with Harry. The Blue Lagoon is fantastic. Just runs really, don't need much on it, quite quick. I found it hard keeping the jack on the surface, it was that quick.
Yeah, right.
And then their other one, which is the Sandfield, really runs nice. And the care they take on their greens is fantastic. You'd think the Sandfield was brand new. It's been down for nearly 5 years. But the upkeep they are doing with I spoke to them, a group of volunteers that love what they're doing.
That's what it's about.
Look at the line on all 3 bowls, Troy. Right down the middle.
Absolutely.
Mark needing just to take a metre off.
He's done that.
He has, and got the shot.
It's
Another one straight down the line.
some very, very good draw bowls in this game.
So Luke switching to his backhand.
Mainly because that last bowl is just sitting out on that side of the jack.
Yep.
He's got enough weight to get some action through his front one. Not enough
not
action,
quite
I don't
enough.
think.
That doesn't block his sight on that bowl.
No, and it probably gives him the next 3. Afternoon to you, Brendan. Interesting that Mark elected to change hands.
Well,
Not-
that's why,
that's-
Troy. He knows what he's doing.
Good reason, of course he does. He's a great player in his own right, that is for sure.
And again, hasn't broadened the target. Look at the line down the middle of the green. That is fantastic bowling.
Outstanding. On both sides of the rink too.
Yep.
Both played 2 on the ditch side and 1 on the other one.
So do you think we might see Luke switch back to his forehand or not?
I think he'll stay on the
Stay on
backhand
that.
and try and
Yep.
pop the jack back to. He pops it to the right spot, it'll go to his own.
Doesn't want to move it too far. Just needs to a couple of feet. Oh no, with this weight, it's going to move a little bit further.
Don't think the front's going to give him what he wants. Oh, it did.
Oh,
Oh, it
almost
sort of did.
Almost did. 2 down to 1 down, so got a result.
And his own bowl comes through as we see on the replay. Flicks the jack. Still down. Okay, final bowl of the end. Can we have our first multiple of the game? Touch on the jack again. I think it's just going to be a 1.
Another 1.
Four, 3. We have seen a change in score on that far ring, so we do believe that it might be accurate that Mitch leads 18-3. Mitch side bottom. Sarah was wanting to know earlier. Afternoon to you, Rowdy.
Does Rowdy work much or not? He just sits in his office watching live stream.
Oh, I think probably more the latter, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, so after 4 consecutive 1s to Luke Lamont, Mark finally getting the jack back. And 4-3 being the scoreline.
Luke just finishing jack high.
Good to see you tuning in, Kaz. Raining up in Broadbeach. It's beautiful here in Terralgan. Kaz will be tuning in and watching Buffer, Luke Lamont, her fellow Lilydale Falcon.
Just might go through a bit. No, just hit his bowl. We'll set it down nicely.
Again, most of Mark's bowls that he's missed on the line and past.
Yep, not dropping many short,
Not
if
many
any.
at all.
If any, yep.
Again, look, this one's going to get back to the centre.
It's a little bit tighter than his other one. No.
There's another one waiting.
That's a great spot.
Luke asking the situation. It looks like it'll be 1 to Luke, yes. But of course, Mark has those 3 bowls past the jack. If Mark was to get it though, the advantage Luke has is that he does have last bowl on this end.
Yeah, finishes anywhere amongst those.
Yeah,
Orange there would be ideal.
absolutely. Somewhere near that last bowl.
I don't think he's far away from those 3.
No, he's played it well. Could be in the count. Mark not asking the question. Obviously doesn't feel like it's going to change his shot.
It's going to have to hold a bit, or is he? I'm just going to duck away.
Won't be
Didn't
happy
have
with
to wait either.
No, won't be happy with that one.
Right. We know Luke's holding one. We're not sure if he's got two. So he's just trying to draw to beat his last bowl. Oh, he's got a good track.
Has he got the weight? Don't think so.
No, couldn't afford to move the jack at all.
No, he did have to be cautious.
Could this be a multiple,
Oh,
Troy?
It's a massive score if it's two.
We'll get the
No,
tape
Mark's
out.
He's not conceding it.
No.
Looks like a two. And with that, we see the first multiple of the game. And Mark, things are starting to get out of control here with a mark.
With a two.
With a two, we've got to get out of here.
Yes, we do.
So we're gonna someone that's going to be able to bring you far more action. Sam Rogers, and he will introduce you to his special guest.
Dude, Troy's head's massive. I have to adjust this. Oh, I'm off mute. Sorry. My bad. All right, we're back. 6-3, and we've played... How long have we been streaming for? Close to 40 minutes, Josh? Exactly 40 minutes. So, unless we pick up the speed, we're in trouble. Timeout potential. Joining me is a man who found himself in a situation he didn't think he'd be in when waking up this morning. Corey Davey from the Melton Bowls Club has already progressed in his section, and having just played the one game, that's a fair effort.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that effort.
Well done, welcome.
I'm happy to be here. This is good.
It is, and this is a good game, and you know these two boys pretty well, having played one of them in Pennant this season. Mark Armstrong, one of Club Sunbury's marquee players. Corey, you played against him, did you?
Yes, he skipped very well against us. He was pretty lethal on his drives that day, so he's a very good player. So this will be a ripper game, especially with Luke Lamont, he's won a lot of big things, and
yep,
100%. that bowl he played in the pairs to win that stream game.
It was the best shot, but the most unexpected shot I've ever seen in doing this, and it was a pretty clutch time to have done it as well.
I mean, to pull out an absolute dead draw when you have to, especially when no one could pick it, that was pretty amazing to see that bowl go down.
Head packed pretty tightly here after the opening three bowls as well. Mark's change of hands just missing under, and a few sections already been decided. Mitchie, I'm thinking of Mitchie side bottom. Corey, that Mitchie side bottom just put on another clinic of bowls under the Traralgon Indoor.
That was amazing to watch. I don't think I've ever seen a person play a better singles game than what Mitch Sidebottom just did. I think he had probably three in the head every single time, and it was just clinical to watch.
I walked past very early on, and he was one down. I thought, the hell was set up pretty tight. Might be an interesting game, and he's come down with enough speed to rock the shot bowl once, and once only, and that was enough for him to hold three in the air. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that was actually unreal to watch. He's been very well bowling this Vic Open.
Yeah,
There's
so
not a lot of things he's not in.
Final of the men's triples, as we saw last night in the semi-final with Carla Miles in the mixed pairs as well, coming up this weekend, which is fast approaching.
It's getting there pretty quickly.
It's flown by.
This week flies very quickly. There's a lot of finals already been played, and this weekend should be another absolute cracker of a weekend of bowls.
Fair go here by Mark Armstrong. Is he going to get unlucky? Well, possibly. He nearly actually got real stiff. We've seen a few unlucky results on the stream throughout today, actually. Some good games, but a few interesting results. And I think the one sticks around enough for the shot.
It's going to be close between that one behind or the one maybe just in front. Yeah, Mark was probably a bit stiff there not to get something going his way there.
Unbelievable. So 4-3 lead it was to Luke Lamont. 7 singles to open this one. 2 on the last end, and there's chances either hand here. His backhand playing a tightish line. Tell you what, big chance. Can't believe that hasn't. There it is.
You can see it.
I'm glad it did what I was trying to explain.
There.
Very good.
It was trying very hard to fall over.
So it lays down flat. So definitely now holding Luke Lamont. Mark Armstrong. I was just say okay angles on the forehand. He just doesn't want to overplay it. There's a plant through Luke Lamont's bowls on the left-hand side of the line through the orange.
He's probably got a few different outcomes that can probably help him here. He's only one down, but I mean, there's a lot that can go right for him here. With the right speed and the right line, he can manufacture something nice here for himself. Weight on that.
He does. He's on his backhand. He's trying hard now. Doesn't want to jack forward. Oh no, gets it all the way through. And
Kill.
In case this game wasn't taking any longer, and the potential of this being timed out has just increased its chance.
More
Dead
and
end.
more likely.
It has. And yourself, not a bad tournament. We talked about Mitch Side, but I'm having a good run. Well, that's gone pretty well for you. You're pretty happy.
I can't complain with it at the minute.
So talk us through it. So first event,
Mixed pairs.
Mixed pairs.
No good in mixed pairs.
But then pairs.
Pairs.
Recovery.
Yes.
Lukey Hoskin.
Lukey Hoskin. He played very well in the knockouts, especially here in those games leading up to the quarterfinals and even the quarterfinal against Thor Shannon. He had the whole crowd on his side and he was living off the energy. He was absolutely electric that night. And the whole time playing with him, he was very, very handy to have. Be able to make the quarters with him was pretty good.
So won 3 knockout games, knocked off Cam Keenan and Kevin Anderson comfortably outside on the grass, and came inside. 2 more wins. One against Ben Lucas and Chris Payne's fair going as well. And then, as you said, ran into Dean and Thor, who I'm not going to say there's favourites in the field. They are playing Sunday morning in the men's pairs. Semi-final, of course, against Aiden Zedegine and Grant Catterick. Pidgey and Toss on the other side of the draw. Pay Nigel Malcolm and Andrew Big Red McFarlane from Mitcham.
Yeah, it should be a good couple of semi-finals there. I mean, you would think Thor and Pidge are probably going to make it, but the fact that the other 2 teams are there, clearly they can play the big bowls when they need to, and at that point, anyone can win it. So
yeah, well, literally like Andrew McFarlane last bowl sort of stuff to win the game.
Yeah. So
Grant Catterick and the Clayton boys just hanging on. Last bowl against the Heathmont lads.
Exactly right. It doesn't matter how you get the win as long as you get it, and it should make for some entertaining watching for those finals.
And then moving on to the triples. I was going to say yesterday. Well, it was yesterday and the day before that. Yep.
Yeah, so triples yesterday with Daniel Joyce and Benny Lachlan from Altona. Very good players in their own rights. I was just more happy to be there, giving a bit of an armchair ride with them.
How did that team come about?
Well, Donk played last year in it, made the final of the triples.
Yes, he did.
I sort of just thought I'd ask him, throw the fishing line out there, see what he said, and
happy days.
He was more than happy to jump on, which I'm pretty happy with. And then we somehow got Benny Lachlan on board. I think that might have been Donk's convincing. And we end up making the semi-final. So from never bowling with them before to make the semi, I'm not too upset about that one. We ran into a very good team last night, though, of Kevy, Cam Keenan and Luke Hoskin. So play against the big teams when you need to. And they last night they were very, very good to beat us.
Yeah, they played some pretty fair bowls. They actually just held on, Kevin, in the previous round in what was it, the quarter against the Upway Tacoma boys, the beer lads.
The beer lads. That was
represented by Lord Cameron.
That was awesome to watch that last couple ends.
And played here by Mark Armstrong, just going through the gap.
I think Kevy was down game, and he trailed the jack just enough.
I didn't realise at the time that he was down game. I just thought that was enough for it to go to an extra end, but it turns out he was down game, and that trailed jack. The crowd went off.
Yeah, he was 3 down, and he got enough of it to make it only 1. And unfortunately, the beer lads couldn't just quite get that out, and Kevy saved the game, which to the detriment of us probably, but
yes,
would have probably preferred it if the beer lads, given last night's result, made it. But no, Kevy's he's a very talented bowler, and he can drive at a million miles an hour, and he usually hits them most times, which is a scary thought for the bowls.
the beer lads have been good to have as part of the Henslight VO for 2025. Men's triples final between Team Anderson and Team Dawes, Saturday 2:15 p.m. If you're in the area, get on down to watch that. If not, we'll have all the finals on live stream. Mark Armstrong faced a tricky head last time, was able to kill and restart. And they've gone the other way, and Luke Lamont set this one up pretty nicely as well, holding a good couple. Last one has just sort of sat jack high. There's that awful tape to measure the 21. Is that what that sound is? They got the tape out?
That is exactly what it is. It is a...
no good.
That's an old tape measure right there, and it has been updated for a long time.
Might have drawn the shot here. Inside the last. Okay, well, that's been made to look very easy. I think it stopped in time for 1.
Not a bad nugget when you're 2, potentially 3 down, and he just does that.
No one too keen to give it away.
No. There's a wide smile there from Luke Lamont.
Nice ball enough for shot, so Mark Armstrong gets the mat once more. He's won 4 of just the 9 ends we've played in this match. And 4 singles, as you can see on screen. 6-4 the lead. Both lads have taken a win. They've had to work hard for it against Timmy Fraser, who's marking this one. And that means that winner takes all and moves on to the round of 256. The winner of this will get a bye, as most teams have. So the winner actually gets themselves a spot in the round of 128 to kickstart tomorrow morning.
Yep.
9 a.m. 4 big streams coming your way. Knockout action in the singles.
Bit of a big section, this one, with Tim Fraser, who's probably more of a local
There's a couple.
person.
Yeah, there is. There's a couple like it.
Then you add in Luke Lamont and Mark Armstrong. It makes for a very competitive section. This game is probably the epitome of it at the minute, given we've played...
Played 9 ends, been going for, after this end, approaching an hour played.
And the score is 6-4.
And we're 6 of the 21 shots required to check out. So,
meanwhile, there's people who have already finished their 3rd game coming to sit inside.
A little bit of a crowd building.
There's a bit of a crowd building, and probably just speaks to how close and how well these two are actually playing today. That they can just be playing for this long, and the score is still extremely tight.
Who else we've got in action then around the grounds? Any few from Melton having a game today?
We've got a few playing today.
Obviously, Jones is in action out at Morwell. He's already had his 2 wins and has packed up shop for
He's
the
made it
afternoon.
through the section, which is always nice to see.
Nice early finish. So is Toddy Trewarn. He's out at Stratford.
He's won both his games.
He's had a winning game against Anthony Lee and then played Brad Lancaster.
Which I've just received confirmation he won, apparently. So
it's a good win.
Toddy's through as well, which is always good. We've got a few of the girls playing as well, Chelsea and Pollock and Lisa Trewarn, who both...
How's that? Into the women's triples final, if you don't mind.
That is a massive, massive night last night, watching their play. Obviously, I was out there as well, so I got a bit of a nice view, especially when they were next to the live stream. That final end that they played was absolutely mental.
How's the draw to the ditch down there, by the way?
That draw, oh, wow. She'll hate me saying it, but Airplane Trewarn came out that night.
No, she did. She came over at the end. She's like, I've locked eyes with Todd. And I thought, my goodness, what have I just done?
She did. She finished it. The bowl landed. It was amazing. She looked up, looked at the crowd, and she went, oh, no. what have I absolutely done here? But in her defence, that was an absolute amazing bowl to play. Probably turned the tide of the game into their favour. Just enough to hold out against that Ocean Grove team, who's a pretty reasonable team, who very strong. Took it to them a little bit, but they did very well to hold on and make the final.
Final of the women's triples, so they'll take on pretty fair trio in Mel Allen,
Yeah.
Goddard and Kay McKerry in the final. That one Saturday morning first thing, kicking off around 9 a.m. as Luke Lamont just trying to rock the shot bowl through the jack, gives another one pass. Currently 2 down, and Mark Armstrong holds a very, very good 2.
Very good too here.
And just get anywhere to split the back bowls up.
But yes, it's been a bit of an eventful or successful Vic Open so far for the Mount crew. With Chelsea and Todd also in the mixed pairs semi-final on, I believe, Saturday morning.
Yes, this is
Against-
true. We missed out on seeing them because they were over at Newborough.
That's right, and it was
The
they played
knockout date.
They played a lot of big teams. They played Tim, who is marking this game in the quarterfinals, and they played very well that day at Newborough. Oh, Mark's just pulled up short. He might have snuck in there.
Yeah, it doesn't make it any easier though. For Luke
No,
Lamont
it
as
doesn't.
well. I would have liked that backhand. Would have looked okay from the mat.
Mm.
With the shot bowls to the jack, and doesn't have that option anymore. Can he go flat out up the middle?
He's had a nice look at it. He's clearly got something in mind. I reckon he knows what he's doing. He just needs to execute this now because this is a bit of a big end here. This could really wrestle the favour back in Mark's favour. Tie the game up if he gets this. Potentially maybe even go 1 up.
That's what he's gone for. And that's a Sam Rogers-like drive. That one misses. 2, all square, 6 apiece, unless the front one counts. 2.
Mark's gone
Armstrong
2.
happy with 2. So 10
Split.
ends played, which is all irrelevant. 6 apiece in a must-win game for either to continue their singles campaign. Mark Armstrong, I believe, is just down here for the singles event. Have you seen his name pop up anywhere else?
I haven't seen it pop up anywhere else. But as we sort of said before, he's a very competent player in his own right. Very talented. Could almost make a deep run in the singles if he's able to get past this section. And a very strong Luke Lamont as well.
Again with CJ Snare in the pairs. The boys just got rolled late in one of the early knockout games on the back carpet, which not the easiest to jump on and nail. Even more so today. I've just been out for a look before. It's a bit breezy out there now.
It is a little bit. The breeze is picking up slightly in that second game, which I suppose on the grass greens probably not too much of a difference, given how tight they normally are. But that back synthetic, especially with that wind, does just change things up slightly to be kind of annoying out there and kind of makes you change your line a fair bit. Mark just going through a bit on that first one, and Luke just trying to capitalise on that bit of space he's been given here. And he's just pulled up short there, which gives Mark again that free room just to try and nail this second one.
Yeah, just missing out, coming off the running shot in the last and a shorter length. And Mark Armstrong, I think he's backed the weight off, but it's still over. No, he hasn't at all. Same bolt. Okay. It's him reading them well early, isn't it? Definitely didn't have a roll during the lunch break either on ring gate. Yeah, for commentary purposes, guys. No, maybe not.
Luke able to get in shot here. He's fixed that weight up quite nicely to
Yeah, too much room for him.
way too much room. But it's been a pretty good Vic Open at the minute. Like, Trailgun's an awesome setup. First time I've been here. This is.
Is it really?
It is, and especially that the pairs knockout night where we played the quarterfinals. Look, it was just absolutely electric. The crowd was going bananas between Luke Hoskin and Thor.
It was, wasn't it? Good atmosphere.
Me and Dean Corinne were pretty happy just to be standing there out there in the green.
Good games to be a part of. I reckon Lukey might have mentioned that at some point. To the boys that these are the games you want to be a part of 100%.
He did tell me, and I didn't believe him at the start, and then after the game I said, want to be part of more of them.
Yes.
And as I say that, Luke Lamont nails that bowl. And
the last bowl is shot. The crowd's been really good pretty much every knockout game.
Absolutely.
After the first one have just sort of grown as people slowly get knocked out, and all those who have been knocked out in the sectional games have come down for a look.
They
different
do.
on the sectional days, of course.
And of course, more and more people get knocked out, somehow the crowds get bigger and bigger, which for the ones that are still out there, you just feed off that energy, and it's great to be a part of. And it really just changes the whole game completely.
It's keeping an eye as Lamont weighs up his options here. His last bowl, he's going to get back to the forehand to try and draw another. Already holding one. Keep an eye on this first. Just to beat the wing bowl here on the wide side. It goes close. Just giving it a chance.
He doesn't look badly pointed.
Taking a roll out of this would be maybe enough. He saw a bit of half of everything and doesn't get up there in time. Looks like it'll be one to Luke Lamont, who will regain the lead. We're not going along at world record pace here, are we, Corey?
No, we're not. Mitch Sidebottom's sitting there watching going, why are they taking so long?
7-6 to Luke Lamont. An hour played, an hour and 15 left on the timer. It's the other game I want to touch on quickly. Section 24. So Cam Keenan lost 21-20 on the last bowl to Gary Lasky on the back carpet. Cam's come out and won 21-4 in the next game, so holds a heap of shots up. So it's in Gary Lasky's hands. If he beats Ian Miller from Narry Warren, he wins the section. If he loses, Cam Keenan escapes. Right now, Ian Miller leads 11 shots to 10. That's on the indoor here, a couple rings across. So we'll keep an eye on that. One is going to go down to the wire by the looks of it.
It looks like every game on this indoor, at the minute that's still playing, is extremely close. There's one that's a bit of a margin, but the rest are all within 2 or less, which for a final game where you're potentially trying to win the section and advance to the knockouts, well, that's what you play for. These are extremely close games that if you can win, you put yourself in a pretty good stead playing big competitive bowls leading into the dangerous knockout games. And it's not a bad draw bowl for Mark.
Yeah, it's not a shocking opener, is it? He's trying to get them in that area and not fall down is not ideal, but good shot nonetheless. Puts pressure on Lukey Lamont.
Does put a bit of pressure, but
the instant changes the hand of Luke Lamont as well.
Probably got just more to arrive onto.
Doesn't really like this hand. They've figured his hand out pretty well.
That's a fair reply, though.
Oh, wow. Trail the jack that far on that hand.
Yeah. That is a fair reply. Which seems to be the unfavoured hand on this live stream rink. That playing the carpet, not the ditch side of the green.
It does. I was talking to Craig Mills earlier on this hand, and we've noticed a few times hasn't been as swoopy sort of off the ditch side.
Right.
As it has been earlier in the week. It's just struggling to get up there in time. Yeah, not past the jack either.
No. Gives Luke just an absolute free draw here to try and add another or just change the angles a little bit to really put the pressure on Mark here.
Fair area hit. Just doesn't want to open anything up. Will increase the target. It doesn't do any of that. It gets all the way down and
he's put in a nice spot.
I can get to the last. Probably gets third shot. Maybe get down for second.
Tell you what, he's put this in a very nice spot. Mark Armstrong. Wow.
Has he just drawn that off?
He's landed Luke's through clean and stuck around for what looks like one.
Here I'm going about, oh, his third shot's really good.
Mark-
No. No, I'll get these shot.
Mark said, sorry, Sammy. I'm going to just absolutely nail this and put the pressure right back on Luke to create something with his fourth bowl and try and, for Luke's perspective, try and potentially make a number. Moves it a little bit, maybe making 4. But Mark does have that last bowl to come.
It's a tight line. He's playing a arriving weight though. See what happens now. Anything through the jack works. Oh, it's not a bad result. It's a really good result.
It's a great result for what he was trying to play there. He was probably trying to play that shot. Probably not
He's
the way he
trying to
wanted to
get
get
it
it.
through the shot bowl, through the jack, I think.
Yeah,
But
probably not the optimal way to get it, but
the head was so close that any contact meant there was a chance of the jack rattling around, and it stuck right in there. It's locked in now for 3.
yes. He got the result he wanted.
A 3? No,
Not in
this
this
won't
game.
stay this way.
It is Mark Armstrong coming
can't.
up.
No way.
We can't be breaking the trend here. We need a... I'm not doubting him. I reckon he might be able to create something here to cut this damage down or potentially save the end. The way he's been playing today so far, you wouldn't doubt him.
Just having a look if it happened to be timed out and be a draw. Yeah, of course. Luke Lamont would have a win in the section by 1 shot.
1 shot.
Beat Tim Fraser 21-13. Mark Armstrong beat him 21-14. So the fact this is 7-6 after an hour, all checks out.
I think we're going to go the distance potentially here.
Backhand weight. Haven't seen many weighted shots, I don't think. We certainly have a while we've been here. Still some angles to work with. Doesn't really have anything past the jack. It takes a little bit more time.
He's going that backhand weight.
Oi, oi, oi. Here
He's
you go.
He's going that wide. This is unreal for this game. There is
Knocks
a
below
number.
clock, and can you believe it? Someone's got to double figures. 3 shots.
We didn't think this
Give
would
him
happen this early.
Gets the result and leads 10-6.
Wow.
Corey Davey, you have got a big day in store tomorrow, son. 4 knockout games for you to come.
4 would be nice. Hopefully I can put another full day of bowls in from the last 4 and then today. And hopefully we've got some Melton teammates also joining me tomorrow. Be nice if we can get a few more jumping through.
Keep an eye on their results. We'll let you go because there's too many BV people sitting around doing nothing here, including a top race. So thanks very much for joining us for a few of these ends, which, 12 ends played, 10 shots. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the VO and good luck tomorrow.
No worries. Happy to be part of it. Hopefully we can continue it going.
Fire
Cheers.
up a bit.
Thank
on
you.
Mate. Well done. Corey Davey from Melton Bowls Club joining us there, having a pretty fair Victorian Open and still going in the singles. Be back in action again tomorrow. It's Luke Lamont. Dobbs, the first one, pretty much on top of the jack. Seeing your screen, it's been flashing off across most of the BVTV streams. Entries for the Novice Carnival and the Over 60s open now. Links on the BV website on those pages, and they are going through the roof, so don't miss out. Jump on and get yourself involved. And knackers o'clock, Matty O'Tobre. Welcome back.
Good afternoon, Subby.
Pretty good game of lawn bowls, as we expected in this one.
Yeah, Luke Lamont's a pretty handy bowler.
And you know that very well.
I do.
Eastern Rangers friends.
Yes, played against Luke in our away match against Lilydale.
This one getting right back to the line. A little bit of a fortunate result late, enough for 3. Mark Armstrong just missing heavy and wide. Not really sure what the boys are talking about there, but it all seems in good
Both
spirits.
got very solid deliveries, haven't they? So smooth.
Very compact, point of release, very nice. And everything that your delivery is. So
Yeah, set myself up for that one.
Yeah.
Still had a pretty sleepless night last night, thinking about my game yesterday.
I slept,
Let you down.
I slept great. It's down to in time for second, Marky Armstrong. Played Mark in pennant this season, Matt.
Oh, right. Who's Mark play for?
He was, as I mentioned to Corey, one of Club Sunbury's marquee players.
Oh, okay.
So, played for him, Glenroy versus Sunbury, and Corey played him when he was playing for Melton during the season as well.
Oh, Luke's weight is spot on.
The guy is a genuine star.
Played region sides for Eastern Rangers.
I don't know if he all of a sudden just woke up and became really good at bowls. But when we saw him play at state champs, I was like, who is this bloke and where has he come from? Ever since, I've just seen him being putting on clinics wherever I go to bowls clubs. As you said, region sides, VBL, they qualified, the Lilydale side. Good to have them a part of VBL 3. In action here and going along fairly nicely. I think this isn't a bad area either, Matty-O. Needs to get up there quick and out. Try and change this up.
Well, he's changed it.
The jack movement increases the target slightly. Still believe it's a couple.
How quiet is it today?
Oh, there was a little bit of a crossover, a couple of sectional games finishing and people coming inside for a look, but yeah, it's very, very different to the knockout days. That is for sure. See in the background, Bailey Randall's just finished up. I feel he's had a couple wins and might be through to the knockouts as well.
Could be on our live stream next.
Oh, he's one of the unfortunate ones that doesn't have a bye into the 128 and has to play another game tonight. He hasn't again, has he? Not quite, but yeah, got 2 past the jack. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that is good bowling.
It's a nice split on for Mark Armstrong, but he doesn't want any jack movement, I don't think. To be fair, it is 2 anyway.
So what sort of weight? Just what? A metre over on that?
Played searching weight on the backhand last hand in the opposite direction on the tighter hand. Missing well wide.
Searching on the backhand, looking for that split that you called. Oh, he's close. Oh, what a bowl.
That's not bad, Matthew. He didn't want jack movement. Look at this. Perfect split and...
Oh, that is a
yes.
cracker bowl.
Oh, yes. Away from the jack. What a shot. Tell you what, his own's nearly hung around for 3 there, Matthew.
Well, it's definitely 2. Or that is a cracking bowl.
I think he's doing well to get the 3rd one in. Nonetheless, big time bowl. Needed that.
Keeps him in the game.
As I said, that section with Cam Keenan looked like it was coming right down to the wire. That's now 17-11 up and just needs to win the game. So he's put on 7 shots in the last 2 ends, I think. And bang.
Holding a nice 2 on the
2 or 3 here, Matty.
3.
Thanks,
What
Timmy.
a bowl. Mark Armstrong.
2 down to 3 up.
That was one of the best bowls I've seen this week.
Oh, baby. Back to 10-9.
Nearly as good as your drive in the first game.
No, that split beats that. Yeah, to be fair, Mark wouldn't have played that on the grass at Hayfield. Not a chance. good greens out of the old hayfield, wasn't it? We had a bit of a good time.
Our host clubs have been amazing. We've got 18 of them. I won't go through them now, but yeah, we can't run events like this without the support and the volunteers from our host clubs.
Beach wondering why I'm not playing singles. Well, Matt doesn't let me. He only lets me play 2 events, don't you?
That's not me pulling the string.
No, that's what Tone and Troy were like, oh, we don't know. We'll just ask Matty. Matty said, no, not a chance.
Oh, you're not a very good singles player anyway, so
I didn't realise he was sitting over there. Sorry, what? Come on, man.
What have you won recently?
We're meant to be friends. This chair is horrific.
That bowl's not horrific. Great starter for Luke.
Yeah, not bad again.
I've got the family coming up today, Sammy.
A couple of tennis rackets arriving.
Yes, a couple of tennis rackets have been packed. You and I are going toe-to-toe on the tennis court.
As much as I love the bowls and like playing, like a bit of commentary, keen for a little hit of the old tennis.
It'll be good to see my partner Laura and the little fella, Will. There's only so much FaceTime you can do while you're away.
Hopefully she was happy to have her name put out there on BVTV, but there you go. Mark Armstrong, not a bad little setup despite being one down here. Might be forced into playing the backhand. Just trying to get an idea of what the angles are between
he's asking the right
second
questions,
shot and
isn't
Jack. Yep, no surprise really.
And he's playing forehand.
Wasn't me who called backhand. No, wait. Tell you what.
Oh, it's another great bowl.
Very confident sticking with the forehand and now has 2 past the Jack and in catching areas if there's any movement through the shot bolt.
As you can see, Luke's lining up on his backhand, looking to get those back 2 orange bowls. He's on track for it, Sammy. Oh, that's a great bowl.
Yeah, another one past. It's high standard this. Been playing for 13 ends, just 10-9 the scoreline. Almost an hour and 15 minutes has been played. Mark Armstrong, is he sticking with the same, trying to look to draw this one off, or change over with the last, try and sit the bowl through on the backhand? Nice enough weight for this. It's always missing wide. Time this end. Pretty defensive sort of draw shot here for Luke Lamont. Beats his last. He goes close, Knackers. Damien Barnes calling for a BB staff game. See the People's Champ is. Don't really feel there's the need for that, but look. If you guys think you're a chance, happy to have a game.
Oh, I'd love to stitch you up. Well, the way Luke's been drawing, he's going to be in the area.
Looks whitish here.
Does look high. Oh, it's good weight for it.
Was it ever? It's about as good as he could have gone. He couldn't afford to be narrow there with the wrong weight.
Just a 1, Mark signalling.
All right, 11-9. Winner takes all in the section. First to 21. Got to get to 21. If not, we're getting timed out. And we touched on just before he jumped on the stream, Matthew Tobre. A draw means Luke Lamont wins the section by 1.
Oh, wow.
21-13, he beat the marker Timmy Fraser in the earlier rounds, and Mark Armstrong winning 21-14. Absolutely nothing separating this section.
Just a great clinic of drawing bowls.
Very
Pleasure to watch.
consistent, Matthew.
Pleasure to
and
watch.
After the first one, making it look very easy to group the next 2 or 3 bowls on the draw after that. Oh, it's getting boring. Someone needs to spoon one.
Have we said any dead ends at all today?
Yeah, the first end that I jumped on with Corey there, Mark Armstrong put the jack straight out of bounds. Trying hard again, giving Bowl a chance, turns it down. Mark Armstrong potentially still just hanging on. The jack changes that up
good
first.
bowl.
Yeah, had to. And did well to follow all the way through it. So still holding. Forces Luke Lamont to play something a little bit different. Change of hand. Afford to be positive at this.
It is. Just needs it to hold.
Aggressive line. Might clear something out the road. Or just get a touch up. Or maybe not. Can't be far away here again, mate. Every bowl is in the zone. Wants to hurry up now.
Oh, it's good weight for it.
Oh, I don't know. It might have been a fraction under to get what he wanted.
Has got a bowl at the back, hasn't he?
You can just see it poking out at the bottom of your screen. On the right-hand side. Luke might try and
Luke
get
might
to this
need to
first.
change this again, I think.
Has a nice sort of
Get it
just over
further
the draw
back
shot.
with his forehand.
Be able to hide the jack, get it back down to the right near the centre of the line.
Because Mark might be coming with weight with his necks to get the bowl out or get the jack right back. Good view of what Luke's looking at. Let's see if Luke can change this.
Giving it a fair go.
Oh, he's
Wants
close.
to hold on,
Sam.
wants to hold on, wants to hold on.
Oh, that was great weight.
Don't want to do a Glenn Seditis, but I reckon that touched the jack. It did. That one definitely did. All right, plenty around it. Potentially only holding just the one. Comes strong. If he underplays it and doesn't go with the jack, could be in trouble. If he overplays it and turns his only bowl in the head out, also in trouble. Thoughts, Knackers?
You've summed that up pretty well. I think he's just going to be a little bit overdraw here. Sit that bowl. The previous shot's now been shut. Taking his time, which is good. He's going backhand for it.
Backhand underneath. Turn on the way in. Always looked on the wide side. Has he rocked that in for 2? Always looked high. Wasn't a bad option. And picks up the mat. Just the 1. So moves to all the way up to 12. Back-to-back ones. He's won 4 of the last 5 ends. Took that 3 earlier on. This one's right in the balance. We played an hour and 20 minutes. Luke Lamont's got himself to 12, and that's as close as we are to 21. And that will see me out. Enjoy the dulcet tones of soda.
Matty, I keep getting dulcet tones, and I don't know whether it's a good or a bad thing at this point in time.
It's a compliment, Glenn. Just take it.
Sad walking away, so it's nice.
Well, yeah, because he's been bagging you the whole time, so I'd be taking at least one compliment.
Yeah. Oh, well, look at that name in the Facebook comments.
Yeah, I thought that was one of our past staff members.
Okay. So, what do you know, Matt? What's been going on here?
What do I know? I know that these 2 bowlers put in on an absolute display of draw bowling. It's a pleasure to watch. And they do have a pretty handy upshot if needed.
Did you have a pick before the game, or?
No.
With what you've seen, where would you lean?
Oh, jeez. That's a tough question, Glenn. I'm going to have to think about that. Normally I just fire off too quickly.
Say that again.
No.
Any tactical trends or anything we've noted across the game? I've been away
with the way they're both drawing, it's just, you know, put pressure on the opponent and then play the shots with their 3rd and 4th bowl. You missed probably one of the nicest splits I've seen all tournament from Mark on a backhand to make 3 2 ends ago. There's a shot on the backhand here for Mark.
Does he play the back, or does he commit to the forehand that he's played a couple of times and just run his own bowl up through them?
I'd be playing backhand. Looks like he's going with a bit of weight too, Glenn.
Nice size target.
Here we go. Runner on the backhand.
No, it's on the forehand.
No, that was backhand, Glenn.
Check the replay in a second. It turns underneath those on the forehand all the way.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, swinging underneath.
Oh, you're right. Great hit. Mark Armstrong.
Of course, played it on the forehand because rule 1 of weighted shots, play away from danger. No risk of taking his own bowl out if he'd played the backhand. Was
Yeah, good
shielded
call.
by that short bowl. All he needed to do was get under that front bowl of his own to make clear contact.
He played it perfectly. We're in store for a great game here, Glenn.
Yes.
Both players winning their previous matches. So it's a live game going into the last match. Mark bowling with SRVs.
Yes.
And Luke supporting our sponsor, Henselite.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's in the area again, Glenn. Gets the jack. Oh,
Just
no, he
under.
doesn't. Just under. Same shot still on for Luke. Probably only needs to go a smidge wider. Weight was good on the last bowl.
Certainly
It's
got
a
a high
wider
line.
track. It's looking good, Glenn.
Got the bowl clean. No, it's not jack.
Oh,
No, he
just misses
doesn't.
the jack again.
How's the consistency?
Take a change of hand here, Glenn. Get his own bowl up and back.
A few questions in about results across the green. Cam Keenan is marking right now. He lost the opening game this morning to Gary Lasky. Not entirely sure what happened in his second round, but you can check all of that through the results portal.
Yeah, we won't be doing any live scoring today. Tomorrow we'll bring you probably live scoring quarterfinals onwards.
You can jump on to the results portal, find the event name, and there's the button across the top that says entries. Through there, click on your player's name that you're interested in, and you'll be able to see their scores throughout the day under the completed banner. Entries is the easiest way to find those players, all in alphabetical order by first name.
Okay, Luke's changing his hand here, Glenn. Forehand at it. Looking for jack back. Don't know if he's on the right line. Yeah, I think Gary Lasky's got through that match.
That had sent him through the section with 2 wins. I think we were discussing before, someone in the office had Cam to go deep in the singles.
Yeah, it's a good result from Gary.
I think it might have been Tony, I believe. He said it might have been him that when I was speaking to him before.
Well, Mark's jumping back on this forehand. Oh, it's good weight.
Sam had Cam.
Well, that's a pity, isn't it?
Oh, what a shame.
-2 for Sammy.
-5.
Is it?
Yep.
Make it -10, Glenn, without telling him. There was a 1 there for Mark Armstrong. Makes it 12-10 in the race to 21.
With Craig Mills and Brett Marnie yourself. Matty, there's your 2 choices.
Sorry?
Your 2 choices for the singles, Craig Mills and Brett Marnie.
Yep, year of the dogs.
Yep. I chose
Woof,
Brett
woof.
Marnie as well, and but my second choice was Todd Trewarn.
If I had my time again, I would have Brad Pavey in there. I just got a
Plenty did.
feeling about Brad.
Troy, Cooper, the Doctor, all went with Pavey.
I saw him earlier today. You can just see that he's setting himself for the singles. pretty sure he got through his section today.
Good again there from Luke.
How's the draw way?
Yeah. You got to remember that
We should be studying this game because they are through the roof, these two.
Got to remember that Luke Lamont played one of the best draw shots you will ever see in the last end of the men's pairs semi-final last year at state championships. It was down game, played a backhand through the tiniest window to win that match while a number down. So man can play and has had a very, very good last 2 years. Of course, skipping at Lilydale in their Premier Reserve side. And really does have a full court game. Playing at Lilydale means that he's no stranger to carpet greens.
No, they've got 3 carpets there.
This surface running a little bit slower than the Lilydale greens do, but of course the advantage of no conditions whatsoever here at Traralgon Bowls Club. Mark with a nice high line there. Drifting back in nicely.
Yeah, it's drawing great. The rink.
Done enough to knock that down in.
Might get a question here from Luke. It is. Am I down or up? Good marking there from the marker. Both players chasing the third bowl down to have a look. Oh, Luke. This
needs to get the correct side of Jack if he's going to.
Oh,
and he has.
Bowl. That is great bowling.
Lights out.
I wonder if we're going to see Waite again here, Glenn. Go for the kill.
Travis Preston with a score from outside. JR's leading Nate 18-17. I think that'll do enough to get JR through the section, I think. I think it was a matter of if he got to 17 shots himself, he was going to be safe to get through. So if he's got to 18, he'll be clear on shot difference, irrespective of the result there.
So Mark's opting for this just a little bit over because he can trail it through back to his back bowl.
Looks a good line.
Oh, it's not
With
far
that
away,
pace, is he
Glenn.
gonna
Not
hold
far
all the way
away.
to Jack? He has done.
Why would you try and kill it when you can do that?
Unfortunately, he's left
Yeah,
2
too much
feet
of a
for
gap.
Luke, and I have a funny feeling that Buff will be able to draw right into that nice and comfortably. He'll have to change hands here. He'll have to swing over to the backhand, given that that forehand side is completely clogged up now. However, plenty of room for shot, and if not, I can't see him being more than 1 down after this bowl.
Hope you don't put the moz on him, Glenn.
And sure enough, draws down on the backhand. I think it is enough for 1. But Mark Armstrong's having a look at it. He's asked for the tape measure here. Certainly no more than the one either way. And it is another one to Luke Lamont. And with that, stretches the lead out to 3. Susan Howes in the comments asking if anyone chose Mitch Sidebottom in the tipping. Just having a look now. No one did have him, but it is a good shout. We obviously streamed Mitch twice yesterday, leading in the triples rink with Matt Robertson and David Dawes. And he has been absolutely stellar up front in that rink. And if you're leading well, then generally you're playing pretty good singles at the same time too. So certainly a good call. Unfortunately, part of our rules for our tipping competition was all events had to be in before the event began. Had to put your selections in for men's and women's of every one of the competitions run here at the Victorian Open. And while that was the case, we didn't get to see quite the rich vein of form that Mitch was in before getting here. Luke just trying to draw up now, finishing a couple of feet shy. Mark Armstrong's first bowl at Jack High. Another solid draw shot there from Mark. I'd anticipate that Luke will be pretty close here. Overweight with the first, dropped by a mat length shy with the second. Too good a player to play the overs and unders game. Honing in on that jack. Gets a piece, but cuts it back to 1 either way. Mark Armstrong will be able to persist on that backhand. Luke here lands the shot bowl. Probably enough to make 2. He's definitely got shot out of it. Of course. Plenty of space, and with the calibre of draw shot we've seen from Mark Armstrong, would not be a surprise at all if he finds a way to eke a single out of this. If he can get that jack moving down the line, there's a chance at a couple. Looks in a good area. Honing in on Luke Lamont's bowl. Lands it and sits. They'll have a look. And now, after Maddie's had to briefly step away, I'm joined again by the one and only Tony Sherwell. Welcome, Tony.
Afternoon, everybody. Afternoon, Glenn. Cracker.
Yeah, absolutely. Low scoring right throughout. Luke sneaks away with another 1 there.
I've got a feeling after the first dozen or so ends, it was singles everywhere, wasn't it?
Well, there was a 2 on end 8 for Luke,
Yeah,
a
not
2 on
many.
end 10 for Mark. Luke snuck a 3 in there on end 12.
A 3, that's outrageous behaviour.
But 18 ends of play for these 24 shots scored so far. And we were just discussing with Matty then, the quality of draw bowls and the full court games they've got. Were you on the call last year for Luke Lamont's backhand worldie that he played in that semi-final of the state pairs?
Semi-final of state pairs, yes. It was a magnificent draw shot. I won't use the word I was going to use. It was a magnificent draw shot.
That was nearly the sole reason behind me tipping them in the pairs this year, and unfortunately they got knocked out in the first of the knockout games.
Bowling well. Mark Smith asking on Facebook how much time is left. This match started just before 2, so the 10-minute warning is around the 4 o'clock mark, just about 20 minutes away. And then, of course, 10 minutes after that's about half an hour of game time left.
Now, we have seen across other events throughout this week plenty of dead ends, less of those in the singles.
Yep.
But if they are to kill ends, the full end will be replayed. No respotting in this year's 2025 Victorian Open.
Unless the time limit's expired. If we do get to that point in the day.
If the time limit runs out and they're playing their last end and Jack goes out of bounds, that is the one situation it will go to the spot. And if they're going to keep doing this in ones, unless Luke decides to win 7 ends in a row over the next 30 minutes, I don't think they're going to be able to get all of their ends in and get to that 21 marker.
Yeah, just both putting on a display of draw bowling.
Now, just checking, was Luke part of the City Country invites or not?
I don't know off the top of my head. So last bowl here in this end.
There we are. He is a City Country invite this year, so clearly a sign of the strong form he's been in.
Down 1, needs to push this orange bowl, Mark Armstrong, through. Edge of his own could be good enough.
I reckon it has done it.
Yeah, just apologises, Mark. Sort of gives him a little shake of the head. That's in very good spirits.
What we like to see, the sportsmanship of that. Tap on the shoulder from each of them. That's the great thing about this Victorian Open, isn't it? Playing people you don't necessarily get to see otherwise, wouldn't necessarily come across. East, west, north, south, far and wide, all getting to play each other. And with that, the camaraderie and sportsmanship, the general feel around the event is always a positive one. Mark playing an absolute dime there.
Just making it look easy. They just don't miss these two.
Matt was saying he'd be intrigued to see how this game would have been going had we statted it. We did that on the first game of the day. Had a few things going on this afternoon, so weren't able to quite do the same for this matchup, but I can understand why he said that. The quality has been through the roof. And it's not a low-hanging ceiling here at Traralgon.
This is true. This is one end, not the other.
I'm not sure I'd call that low down the other end either. I'd certainly like to have that height ceiling in my house.
Comparatively. We'd all like an 8-rink bowling green in our house, Glenn.
So much room for activities. Mark Armstrong with another solid starter there. About a mat length past the jack. Travis Preston saying outside, JR has gotten to 20 shots and Nate 19, so JR will clear that section now. Even if Nate picks up a 2 on the last end and wins that, JR will have the shot difference to progress through with 1 win. Given that Michael Stevenson beat Nathan Zeno in that second game on the stream earlier today. So the coach will be playing some knockout bowls.
Some ripper games, haven't we? Don't forget those who haven't yet got their entries in for the over 60s, 19th to the 25th of May up in Barham, or the novice, 9th to the 13th of May in the Shepparton area. Head to the Bowlsvic website, get your entries in fast. Over 60s was a real carnival atmosphere last year. Not just great bowls being played on the green, but great times being had each evening. Guarantee you'll love being a part of it.
Luke Lamont looks to have made a very nice 6-foot correction there. Draws the shot. Surprise, surprise.
So winner of this match will progress through to the knockout stages. We've got a couple of knockout matches being played here at Traralgon tonight as we even out the draw. Back to the full rounds.
Round of 128 action tomorrow, Tone?
Yes, we're doing some round of 256 matches to get us to the round of 128. Yes, spot on. I knew you'd be right. Just took me a little while to compute in my feeble little brain. These two boys will have the night off, whoever gets through the section.
Well and dressed before a big day of bowls tomorrow. Of course, 128 will get cut to 64, to 32 and to 16, leaving us just 8 players left come finals weekend.
Yeah, it'll be a great atmosphere in here tomorrow night. If you can get anywhere near this club, you should.
Oh, Luke Lamont steering it with the head, bending the neck.
My favourite's just gone a touch too far. But
I would say so as well. I'm also not sure that that's Mark's nearest bowl. I think the one that's on the left of screen as we look at it is probably slightly closer than the one down the line.
Yeah, Tim, our marker, saying it's just 1 down. So the front bowl of Luke Lamont's, the white bowl standing up, is the shot bowl.
If
Nate
Mark
got up
wants to
21-20, sorry, Glenn.
No, right. If Mark wants to try and get greedy here, jack movement through the hole could make 4. Luke will have the last bowl, but the shot is certainly there, and he is not far away from a jack line. Just a little bit hot on the weight. Luke will have a look. Don't think it's done enough. A nice and safe wide draw for him to make it 2.
So, Glennie, that was a win of the matchup we saw earlier, or we saw Ian Ewing marking in the match of Michael Stevenson and Nate Zeno. So Nate Zeno has now beaten Ian Ewing 21-20. What does that mean for the overall result?
I believe JR gets through the section.
Does just get through.
So Ian Ewing had beaten Michael Stevenson by about 4 or 5 shots.
5, I think it was, 21-16.
So he's 5 up. Loses by 1, leaves him 4 up. Now Nate Zeno was -6 or 7.
Yep.
Which puts him to
+1 gets him
to -6 by getting +1. And Michael Stevenson had the -5 plus the +6 get him to +1.
Yep.
So Ian's +5 will be enough, or
Sounds
+4
like
will be
the
enough.
ramblings of a beautiful mind, but I know what you mean, and you got there. Does that one get in the count? I'd say it does. I'm going to say this is a couple
Most
of buff.
likely.
Mark Armstrong just wants to double check and confirm. It's obviously not clear cut because he hasn't just rolled it out.
If you want the second, go and measure it.
Fair enough too.
It's the more PG rated version of that phrase, often heard across bowls greens.
We only do PG here on BVTV.
You're horrible at the alphabet, Tony.
Yeah, I am.
PG, BVTV.
Okay. HOTT. Anyway.
Two
Confirmed
shots.
as 2. Thank you, Mark Armstrong. 16-12 now the lead to Luke Lamont. I wonder if Bailey Randall realises
Luke, once again, playing the forehand side. Just going to welcome in Bailey Randall here. Now, Bailey, you've just had the news broken to you that you're going to be on the live stream.
Yep.
What are you trying to learn out of this for the next 5 minutes or so while we have you on for a chat?
I don't know how it's running, what the lines are on each hand. What I've noticed so far on this stitch side, if you go too wide, it doesn't come back. Go too tight, it kind of, goes away from you. No, weight looks impeccable.
Have you had much of a chance to play on the carpet here throughout the week, or?
Yeah, I have. This morning I was on one, and that was tricky. Struggled to find the line on the ditch side, but the other side was impeccable.
And have you seen much of the stream throughout the week to get a bit of an understanding about what this has been doing, or seen this rink live in person?
I've watched every live stream, I reckon, apart from the ones that I've been playing. Watching the replays and whatnot.
So, how have you gone getting through your section today? Obviously through to the knockout rounds. Was it 2 wins or a win and shots? Or
2 wins. Plus 15 in the first and plus 10 in the second.
So pretty cruisy then, really.
Yeah.
Another great bowl there
That's a
from
good
Luke
shot.
Lamont. Opens it up. Mark Armstrong under the pump here. 4 down. We're starting to get close to the time limit. 10-minute warning will come in about 5 minutes' time. Needs to change his head around in some way.
I'm surprised he's playing the ditch side here.
They have been relentless on the draw from what we've seen here, and just backing themselves to play perfect weight time and time again. And with the catcher on that hand, I wouldn't be surprised if he was thinking sit Luke or turn Luke through the jack, given the weight that he did play.
Yep. If he could probably almost afford to play the other hand as well, touch it down the line.
Yep.
Could be 2, maybe 3, stay with it.
That'd be huge for him at this point of the game, as we've just discussed. Time limits in play. While it is a race to 21, if we don't get there and the time limit expires, whoever's in front at that time will progress through this section. Ever had the chance to play either of these boys, Bailey?
No, I've watched a lot of Mark Armstrong actually. Past Vic Opens and whatnot, but he's always, his weight control is just impeccable. If you leave him with 340, he'll let you pay. It's amazing to watch actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, give him 4 bowls.
Yeah.
What are you playing here if you Mark Armstrong?
You have to probably play the backhand. Probably a similar weight to his last. He's a little bit tight, sits the front, good enough for shot. Trails the jack back to his own 2 maybe.
Wouldn't want to drop a 2 here, forcing that margin to 6 with limited time left.
Perfect.
That'd also get Luke into that danger zone of only being 3 away from the required number. Do you know who you're playing up next?
I've got Darren Hoops from Werribee.
Okay. Any experience against him before?
I've played against him in pairs and triples, but never in singles. Just falling a bit behind with that shot.
What do you know of him as a player?
He likes the medium legs, so probably, for example, stitch to stitch on this, which is about 6 foot from the tee and about 7 foot from the other tee coming this way now. But yeah, that's about it. That's
where have you found success today? Has it been taking them along, playing them short, somewhere in between?
yeah, probably Matt top of the line, Jack. Similar length to what Luke's playing here now.
Is that what you think you'll go with into this matchup?
100%.
Stick with what got you there?
Yep.
And why is that your go-to length? Is it just I know a lot of players that do that, they move that mat up to that length. They go, I come from a 7-rink club and that turns an 8-rink green into that 7 length?
Yeah,
or is it...
I came from Bendigo East, so they're 16-second, greens, turn from the peg, and if you're in danger, it's easier to kill.
Yep.
Good track, I think. Just relying on the weight. Yeah, it's a good shot.
And how do you view your own singles game in that regard? Talking about the kill, are you a full court player or do you just live by the draw? What are we going to see from you in a little while's time on this stream?
Probably more draw than drive. Some people watching may not believe me, but I'm not a big driver. I know I've got that in my arsenal, but I'm not this massive. I don't drive every end. It's more draw your first 2. If you're 2 down, you can't get second, then you can almost try and play that nice positive ditch wet, swinger, and then or if you decide to draw it, then end up missing it.
Yeah, we just had Sam Rogers walk back towards the desk and look awfully confused when he saw you under the headset. Is it because he's going, what's my older-looking, better-looking brother doing here? Or
yeah, the amount of times I've heard that this week.
Any time that we can throw him under the bus, we've got to.
Yeah,
I've broken you there, haven't I? He was all set up.
The comments this week are, the funniest I got asked was, who's the bigger brother? Sorry, Sammy, but I said, probably more mature.
We'll buy that. Mark Armstrong with a good shot here, looking to slide in for another.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Just falls in behind, doesn't make a target.
That jack there. That's tucked it around the corner for 3. Luke with a 1-bowl target.
2 here would be back within 4.
Yeah. Of course. Probably only a minute or so away from that 10-minute warning bell as well. You're just trying to draw a good second here?
Yeah, or...
You can draw it off entirely?
Yeah. Weight looks all right.
Good area. Just holding past.
He draws a 3rd here. That will be huge in the context that we've got about 10 minutes left, I reckon.
Yeah, and on that note, we've just seen Mark jog down for part of the journey back to the bowl, understanding that time's getting close, and the best way to make some of that time up is to have a few less looks, back your marker in more to make a good call and trust their decisions.
There's a 10-minute warning.
Needs a 3rd here to really spice this match up. If it hasn't been hot enough throughout, the standard has been through the roof.
Yeah. It's on a tighter line.
He's just going to turn Luke up, but we'll hold on to the 2 shots.
Make it back within 4.
Going back to his favoured mat position that he's had throughout the game. Preferring to search for the longer side of things. Yeah, we'll see if he can nail this first bowl. It's been a trend right across the day. jack roll and first bowl right on it. That is that advantage of it in singles. What do you do? You win the toss? Are you one that keeps the mat in singles or gives it away?
Keeps them.
Keeps it in singles. Give it away the rest of the time though? Yep, absolutely. We've talked about that with a few people throughout the day. Maddie's been the same. Sam's been the same. Troy. It's so important to get that initial rhythm and choose your length.
It's just in singles. Once you get that rhythm, then that's a very good start. Yeah, singles you want to pick your length off the bat, and then try and put pressure on. From the first end, first bowl. It's on a tighter line.
John Richard saying that you're giving away all your secrets here. That I should have been a journalist with everything that we're getting out of you. Hopefully the opposition for that next game isn't listening in right now. Is that sitting on his phone over there?
I hope not. In the context, this one needs to be just behind. He's very close. What a shot. That is superb.
It's what you need to do when you're chasing a game late.
Here we go. Mel's just walked over with the confusion on her face as well.
Yeah, it's not Sam.
No. Next live stream game's 4:30, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
So we'll get through this one, allow the players to have a brief break. Obviously, we might be able to move the stream up by a little bit if all players are ready to go. But we've got to wait for all matches to be finished.
I think it's just these two inside. The one outside's done now.
It's just a matter of if these ones inside it all happen to be playing in that next round.
Yeah.
In which case they might need a little bit of a break before we go back to it.
Just picking that gap.
Les Johnson in the comments, correct. Michael Stevenson has snuck through that second section with Ian Ewing by one shot in the end.
Wow.
We just had the margin of the Stevenson Zeno game out by a little bit. So Michael Stevenson has snuck through.
That's a fair effort.
Yeah, massive. Tough section to draw.
Yeah.
Three very good players. CJ Snary in the comments. Let's go, Buff. Of course, CJ played with Luke in the pairs. Won through their section, but got knocked out in the round of 64 of that event. Luke Lamont looking to go further here.
Yeah, it's on that aggressive line.
He can get the back of his own bowl. It will pop the orange, but he's just going to slide underneath. One down doesn't hurt too much, though. The 10-minute warning has gone.
6 minutes. That makes it back within 3.
Yes. Correct. Of course, winner of this match will progress to the round of 128. Good chance that this could be the last end. Only 5 minutes of play left now.
Millsy and his opponents starting their roll up.
Yes. Now, I do need to remind the viewers at home, while there have been dead ends throughout this tournament.
It's a good starter again.
Ends have been able to be killed. If time expires and an end is killed, that is the one situation in this 2025 Henselite Victorian Open that we will go to the respot. So it's just another thing that the players will need to keep in mind and consider, given how close we are to the time limit. If Mark Armstrong finds himself in a position where he's needing to try and kill, can't make the 3 for a draw or 4 for a win, then the kill will go to the tee. Now, if Mark does make 3 out of this and force a tie and time expires, then Luke will get through the section. Luke won his match against our marker Tim by 8 shots.
Yep.
Mark only beat him by 7, so that
So I'll
one
be
shot
at one
difference
shot,
will be
yeah.
enough to get Luke over the line.
It's probably not bad at home.
Again, gives him that tee if he absolutely needs it, and the jack goes.
Looking a tad bit quick, just falls behind.
Quick, but an invaluable spot in that tee area.
There's Mark looking here. Looks pretty good, doesn't he?
Yeah, if he can get the jack moving too, that would be huge
That's-
for him.
That's a good shot.
Nice wait for it.
Three minutes and counting. Luke just falling a little bit behind again.
Is
got
he
the
3 down
tee.
right now? Oh, that might have fallen in.
No, I
for
think the
third.
front white beats the back orange.
Massive bowl here for Mark Armstrong.
Touches it down the line a foot. I'll bring in his back one. Tell you what.
He's on a jack line. Is he going to drop in time?
Oh,
No, he won't.
I think it's that could be
Luke doing the discipline thing, asking what the situation
2
is.
down.
Our marker Tim indicating only 2. If I'm Luke here, I'm probably walking up and buying a little time, by a couple of minutes.
Cheeky,
But
that cheeky
he's
time
not
waster.
going to. He stayed where he's at. Yeah, Mark picking up the mat, sprinting up the other end. Oh, he is
2
moving
minutes.
quickly.
If he doesn't draw this, he'll make it a one-shot ball game.
He won't draw
He
it.
won't.
Likely to be 2 shots still.
Like 1 minute.
1 minute.
Oh,
He's quickly conceded the 2.
now the rule is the jack has to be spotted, yeah?
No, it just has to have left the hand.
Oh, okay.
So
Now
they're
we-
all safe.
We've got a contest here. One shot.
1 shot in it. As discussed, if this match finishes as a draw, if Mark Armstrong picks up 1 shot here, Luke Lamont will progress, winning the section with a win each by 1 shot. Luke with an 8-shot differential in his win. Mark with a 7-shot differential in his. All to play for to keep their 2025 Henselite Victorian Open singles campaigns alive.
Oh. No, it's not bad. It's only 3 foot, I reckon. 4 foot.
Probably not the start he wants when he's
No.
got that jack, though. Really want to apply that early pressure, tighten the screws. Now, I don't want to put any pressure on you, Bailey, but we've had 3 pretty awesome singles games
Jeez.
on this stream today, so we're wanting a show from you as well.
Oh, falling a little bit short, Lukey. Yeah, I'll try my best for you. Oh, the buzzer hasn't gone off yet.
Right. Mark Armstrong with a stomp of the foot there. Didn't love it. He's added a bit more weight than he'd hoped to.
Yeah,
Still likely 1 shot to Luke Lamont.
Luke's looking a little bit better here. Like just a tad bit quick, but it's probably a very, very good home.
Yeah, of course. Mark needing to make 2 shots here for the win. Will have to be lights out draws, I would imagine.
Yep.
With Luke having split both of Mark's initial bowls up.
Millsy's game's yet to start. Dead end first end. Needs to hurry. That's a great shot. Very good shot.
Pressure back on Luke. Needs to finish in a spot where Mark can't play one that good again. Having lost the last end, Luke does have the advantage of last bowl here, though.
All right, if I'm Luke,
hoping he doesn't need to play it. Doesn't want to turn that up. Mark Armstrong having a good look, but likely only has the one. Would strongly favour Luke's short bowl over the orange that's next to it.
If I'm Mark, you don't want to sit jack high. You want to just behind, foot behind the jack. Don't make.
Even if he gets to the centre line and tips his own over, then it's protected by his short orange as well. Doesn't leave a target at all. Both of these players have been happy to play weight if they've needed to throughout this game, but it has been a draw-first contest.
What can Mark conjure up here?
This will be Mark Armstrong's last bowl of the match.
He's watching it. All on the weight.
Going to clear that front. White. He has.
What a shot, Mark Armstrong.
And tucks it out of the way as described. Right now, Mark Armstrong holds match, and with that holds the section. It's all going to come down to this bowl of Luke Lamont's. Bailey, what are you playing? Back the draw? Are you turning the white up through it? What do you like?
To be honest, quick at the front white.
Well, that's what he seems to be shaping up for.
Split.
He's going quick. Has turned away
Mark
underneath.
Armstrong has
2 shots to Mark Armstrong. Will win him this matchup.
Jeez, no pressure on me now, eh?
To
that was correct.
The round of 128. This has been the round 3 sectional game from the 2025 Henselite Victorian Open. Bailey Randall, thank you for the time. Looking forward to seeing you on a show up next on this stream. We will be back very soon. Players to jump on this rink, have a quick roll up, and then we will bring you more action in the knockout rounds to qualify through for the final 128. My name's Glenn Saditis. You've been also joined by Bailey Randall. Thank you.
In the UK, there's a bowl for every surface for the Henselite product. But overseas, I use the Tiger 2 and I use the Dreamline XG purely because I love the grip and the arc that the bowl takes, and that's what makes me one of the best players in the world.
The Traralgon Bowls Club. Amazing food for you and your family. Function rooms for celebrating with your friends. Corporate spaces for meetings and conferences. With special benefits for members, visit us today at the Traralgon Bowls Club. More than just a bowls club.
The Moama Bowling Club is your place for fun and food. Come and try bowls and make new friends. Have coffee or bring the family for lunch or dinner. The Moama Bowling Club. Visit us today on Hazelwood Road.